back here at Dolly Sods for my 8th annual visit to the Sods. So it's a little after 7:30 in the morning. 28 degrees, that was the low last night. And so last night we night hiked in from Bear Rocks Trailhead. I don't know what, I guess it's called Sundew Trail now. Me and Beth drove in and hiked in down here to this campsite about a mile in. We knew Brian was down here, so we came down here, met Brian. He already had the fire going, which was awesome. And yeah, today we're just doing the basic loop. We're gonna head up to Lion's Head and camp up there tonight, and then hike out tomorrow. I never realized this is Red Creek up here until Brian had pointed out how small this is up here compared to what it is down at the southern end of the Sods. 9 o'clock, 35 degrees, heading out of camp. Coming out into probably my favorite section of Dolly Sods. You can see that trail over there. Going up that way. Do a quick spin around here. These pines right here are just after the Beaver View Trail, or whatever it's called, Beaver something trail intersection. I've never camped in here, but they look pretty campable. And that is about, I would say 1.25 miles from where we camped last night. And just to mention, that is a dry campsite. There's no water up here. There's no water since we left camp this morning. We just got to the end of Raven Ridge Trail. We're heading south now onto Rocky Bridge. So anyways, up here, this is at the north, going up this direction. That is used to be private property. Some trail conservancy or some kind of conservancy bought all this bunch of land up here north of Dolly Sods. It's called Dobbin's Slashings. There's a trail. If we were to head this way, guy is showing the trails that would hook up back to basically where we camped at last night. But I was looking on, doing some research, and they look like the trails are really super muddy. There's some of it's old Jeep trails. So maybe it'd be when I'll do when it's warmer up. Hey, there's the infamous Dobbin Grid, which we're not going on that. Well, we will be on that for a minute or two tomorrow. People got cabins right up here on the hillside. There's another one over here. And this is called the Valley View Trail, another bench. And it does show up on Gaia. I'm not sure where that trail goes, probably down to those cabins. I have not been filming too much, just because it's been cold enough to have gloves on most of the time. And they're not really working too well with the touchscreen on the phone. And when we were up on those ridge trails, it was really windy up there. I'm sure whatever I filmed has a bunch of wind noise. So we're pretty much, I consider it to be done with the northern Sods. Once you get to the intersection with the big kiosk and right at the intersection with Breathed Mountain Trail. And then you get into more dense forests, like rhododendrons and pines and stuff. I think this trail, this section that we're on right now, used to be an old railroad grade. I might be wrong, but it certainly looks like it probably was one at one time, straight and flat. So, I don't know. Last time I was on this section of trail, this beaver dam did not exist. And it stinks over here. I need to get out of here. And here's the other side. Another reason I have not been filming too much is because I've filmed most of these trails, all the good stuff on previous trips out here. The good thing is that we did this trip, we haven't seen a whole lot of other people out here. The parking lot, surprisingly, when we got there last night in the dark, there were probably, at the Bear Rocks trailhead, there were probably only a dozen cars up there. People were rolling out of there. And because last night was Sunday night, so, obviously tonight is Monday night, so we're expecting to have a pretty good pick of campsites. It's about 1 o'clock, and we are down here at the creek. This is a Big Stone Pool, I think. And so if you're coming from that direction, we're going counterclockwise on the loop. You pass a bunch of nice, really nice campsites up there right along the creek. Very popular campsites. And then just 100 yards after that, you're gonna cross the creek here. This is the last water source before Lion's Head. There's no water up top, so unless, as Brian suggested, you could climb down to the waterfall a little further down here, but I don't even have the energy to climb down to the waterfall, so I'm getting it here and filling up everything I got. This is the waterfall. We are late October, and there hasn't been a whole lot of rain around here lately, so I've seen it quite a bit more spectacular looking than that. If anybody knows anything about a swimming hole down at the bottom, Beth said she heard there's a swimming hole. I've never heard about it. Leave it in the comments. Oh, look at that. They got 2 cairns now. Usually it's only 1. So we're headed up here. It's not as bad as it looks, but I do have a ton of liquid on my back. Top of Breathed Mountain. We'll actually have to drop down to get to Lion's Head. We'll drop down just a little bit. But this is the Pines. I thought the original plan was to camp in the Pines, but there's a bunch of established sites here. But Brian seems to know a site over in the hardwoods over here. So we're gonna go check that out. There's one established site, no hammock trees. But obviously the Pines are perfect for hammocks. At 3:30, we picked out our campsite. So Brian's over there. Beth is over there. His fire pit over here. And I'm going with this setup tonight, pretty similar to what I had last night, with 1 exception, or 2 exceptions. So I got the doors closed on this end, nice and tight. Over here, I have half porch mode going on, so I have easy access in and out. I have this door tied down here, and then on top I have the pole for palace mode inside. So that's my setup. I think the wind's going to be coming from that direction over there, I think. None of us are actually feeling motivated to go down to Lion's Head. We've all been down there before to the rocks and everything, so we may or may not go down there, I don't know. It's a little after 8:30. We never did go down to Lion's Head. We did have this nice fire going, and we're setting alarms for 7:30 tomorrow morning, so as you can see, the rest of the crew is pretty much calling it, so I'm probably going to call it very soon. So, you know, a good 11, maybe 10 hours worth of sleep tonight, hopefully. For the weather forecast, we got 2 different weather forecasts we were able to pull up here for tonight, and one said not much chance of rain, and one said 30% chance of rain, so we'll see what happens. Not too worried about it. If I get wet tomorrow, we're hiking out tomorrow. Doesn't matter. It's a little bit after 8 in the morning up here at Breathed Mountain. Brian's already got his stuff torn down. He's making breakfast over there. 32 degrees. And it either got down to 30 or 28 last night. So not terribly bad. It was really windy. I think maybe these pines were blocking some of the wind, because you could hear the wind really whipping up. I can't imagine how windy it was down on the rocks at Lion's Head. It's starting to get a little bit more cloudy than it was a few minutes ago, so I should probably think about getting some of this down packed away. 10 after 9, and we're rolling out of camp. We're probably, I don't know, 8-9 miles back to the car today, I guess. 35 degrees right now. Here we are on Rocky Point Trail, as you can see. Aptly named Rocky Point. Lion's Head is right up there through all the boulders. Got a little bit of a vista here. This route right here, this is where Beth came down one time, and she said a lot of these boulders are loose. It's highly not recommended to try to come down from Lion's Head this way. Yeah, that doesn't look like something I'd feel like doing. Song of the daytime. Last night I had a song just popped into my head, but it was too dark to film. And it was actually, what I had was the verse part, which is not as popular as the chorus part, but still catchy. Well, today I have the chorus part stuck in my head, and it is Dolly Parton, 9 to 5. It's been 3 miles since we left camp, and here is the southern end of the Breathitt Mountain Trail. All right, nice. Looks like it's going to be dry feet. We are at the Forks. Ton of campsites over there. This is just an example of the campsites here at the Forks. I stayed at this one twice. Here, in campsites, there's fire pits all over the place. And there's the smaller of the creeks. It runs into Red Creek right over here. There's more campsites up that way, some over there. Unfortunately, this place, it's really hard to find firewood down here because there's always a ton of people camped down here. There's one more out here on the end of this peninsula, and it's not good for hammocks, but it's right by the waterfalls, and I did get a glimpse of the waterfalls coming in, and this is probably the least amount of water going over these falls that I've seen before. Yeah, it's usually, that water's usually falling all the way across. This one here, this is Red Creek, and it dumps into the right around the bend where Brian's at. I guess it's Beth over there. Right around the bend over there, that's where I think it's Big Stone Call. I'll have to double check. Big Stone Call MPZ here. We just turned off a Blackbird Knob Trail on our way up to, headed up toward Dobbin Grade. We were over on Raven Ridge, about halfway done with Raven Ridge, and we were going to have to go up and then back over onto Sundew Trail. So on my Gaia, I had a blue line that wasn't water, and it looked like it was like a major shortcut to get back over the Sundew Trail. So we tried it. Brian didn't have it on his Gaia, and Beth didn't have it on any of her apps. So we tried it. We had to bushwhack just at the very beginning, some deer trails, but we found the trail. There's a couple decent campsites back in there. We cut off a major amount of miles to get back here. So this is the, if you recognize, there's one, two of the boardwalks, and we are right by where we camped. I think it's right down this hill, if I remember, maybe a little further, where we camped on the first night. We're about a mile from the car now. Here's the intersection. It's Dobbin Grade that way, and if you turn this way, I've always wondered what was up there. There's no signage. That was where it used to be private property, and that Conservancy has it now. That's that Dobbin Slashings. It's showing up on Gaia as Dobbin Slashings Trail. We made it back to the car. There's bare rocks over there. And we're gonna head down to see the tree, the famous tree at Dolly Sods. I've never been there. I think after 8 years it's time I see the tree. I was able to find some coordinates online. I'm not going to post them because I think most people don't want to know. People don't want it to be known where the tree is at. But we've got coordinates and know exactly where it's at. So I'm going to take pictures when we get down there. This is the actual tree. There was one over there that I thought, both of us thought was the tree until we walked up to it and was like, that's not too impressive. Yeah, this is it here. So, there we go. And yeah, it's too bad we don't have some nice dramatic sunlighting here. Kind of cloudy today, but oh well, finally found it. All wrapped up after seeing the tree. We're headed back on the Forks Road, and yeah, like I said, I wasn't going to film much because I didn't want to take my hands out of my gloves, and didn't want to, and it was just too windy. It was going to be wind noise, so it's going to be a short video. If you're interested in more of this stuff, I'll try to remember to put a link down below or in the description, wherever, for my other 7 videos. I have them all in one folder or whatever it's called, one playlist. I think I was way out of shape for this. I haven't done anything in 3 months, so yeah, I'm kind of hurting right now. Even just being Dolly Sods, I'm still kind of hurting. But anyways, yeah, good trip, and finally got my 8th annual Dolly Sods worked out, and we're coming up, about to head down the hill. So, oh yeah, I did want to mention a couple things that I've never seen this Dolly Sods so unmuddy. And I'm not sure. I wasn't really watching the weather too much to see when it rained here last. But yeah, there were spots that were like that are notoriously muddy that were just not at all. You just walked right through, everything was dry. So a few of the other things, I tried a couple of different mixed drinks. I tried the Liquid IV Orange Vanilla. That was alright. I tried the Element for the first time. I got the Orange Salt, and Beth said that it was going to be disgusting. And she does hers in like a liter of water. I put mine in a half a liter. And I mean, I wasn't disgusted by it. I mean, it wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but I was alright with it. Anyways, I have two other things. I have a new invention for my eyeglass, quick access eyeglass thing, which I did not show. I'll have to show that on my next video. And I got a new raincoat, which I will show on my next video. It didn't rain, but it was good for windbreaks up here. So I'm going to spin this around and get some shots of the overlook as we come up to the end here. That's the way out to Bear Rocks there. That's yeah, there's the trailhead right there. That's why they renamed. People were confusing. That's the Bear Rocks Loop Trail right there. I'll take you out to Bear Rocks, and then once you get out there, you get to see some of these awesome views, which you can see in some of my other videos if you're more interested. I can't really get some good shots here, but that's it for yeah. We're headed down the big hill now, and yeah, that's a wrap for this one. And thanks for watching.